Hi, everyone, and thank you for checking out another episode of One Cup of Success. I'm your host, Zach Taubman, and today our guest is Alexis Smith. In his day job, he is a barista at Starbucks and then also a bartender at Station Craft in Dana Point. But what he's really trying to pursue and his main focus in his career is to become the next great stand-up comedian. And he's been doing great gigs all across the Southern California area, and really excited to have him on. How's it going, Alexis?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Yeah, good to have
Good,
you on the
good.
show. So, as I had mentioned in the intro, you have daytime jobs, but really focus on your career in stand-up. So, first thing I want to know, so how'd you get into stand-up comedy?
Man, I've always been a part of like entertainment. Like this as middle school, I started, doing like musicals and stuff and choir and like, just, messing around with friends and impersonations. And there was actually senior year, there's this thing called Mr. Cali, and that's where you do like impersonations, just like stuff. It was like a kind of a silly male pageant. But I impersonated Arnold Schwarzenegger, and from there I kind of, my friends like you should do stand up, and from there it's like the rest is history. I did it, and just it became an addiction, it became a passion. So
Yeah. So, when did you know? Did you know early on that you didn't want to do like a normal like 9 to 5 job and really wanted to pursue a career in stand-up comedy?
uh, pretty much like right away as soon as like I started doing stand up, I was like, man, like I would love to be able to do this for a living. And the more time I spend working 9 to 5, that maybe if it means to end, I'm not too passionate about. I'm not, that's time I'm taking away from my craft.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess from the standpoint of you're really chasing your dream, right, of becoming a stand-up comedian, and that path is not very linear, right? How do you handle that?
Man, I think for like any level of stand up, whether that be where I'm still a rookie, or rather people that been in the game a little bit, or the top people, I'd say it's not so much the shows and stuff, it's the networking, the relationship you build, because it's like the shows are fun, you're really only on stage for like 7-8 minutes, but the stuff after is really what I think hold the test of time, like the relationships, you, you can meet someone you saw, you saw on YouTube, so it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, and building that kind of community amongst your fellow stand-ups. So, who was your biggest inspiration growing up as far as like comedy?
Ooh, man, there's a ton. There's a ton of greats. Like you look at like Eddie Murphy. For me, it's like Kevin Hart and Jerry Seinfeld. Like, come on, like Kevin Hart really can't miss. Jerry Seinfeld. I like Jerry Seinfeld because the simplicity of the jokes he has, because he'll talk about like an orange pill or something like that, and everyone can relate to what's funny. Like an orange pill, like no one's really tripping about that, but he just the way he can kind of involve everyone. That's great. I like there's like George Lopez is great too. There's a ton of guys I get inspiration from. So
Yeah, and I mean my favorite's Dave Chappelle. He's the goat in my opinion. But
yeah,
that's the great thing about comedy, right? Everyone has their greatest of all time, who they think is the best, and who really pushes them to do great things. And good thing that you're doing great things within the comedy space and continue to get more gigs booked. But what is it like continuing to like build your craft and like write jokes?
uh, it's a very challenging process. I say it's rewarding and fun at the end, but with any kind of creative stuff, you're gonna hit those blocks where you like one day you're writing jokes left and right, the next day you're staring at the page for like hours on end. But I'd say being diligent in anything you do, man, anything you do, if you're diligent, you'll eventually be able to hop over that wall you're over. And all the times that I've hit that wall, if I continue to like to even rewrite the same word, rewrite the same joke over and over. Eventually, you get over that wall and you're like, wow, like it's rewarding. And people laugh. You're just like, that's time I spent writing the same joke for 3 hours. It pays off. And yeah.
Exactly. So I guess last question here is, what is your one cup of success?
The one cup of success. I'd say the one way to make sure you're like always, at least 5 or 1 step ahead is really to show up, man, and in anything. It's because people say 80% of success is showing up. That's showing up meaning when you're not feeling the best, or you're feeling your best, or you're not, somewhere in the middle. If you show up, most times, success is already there. So I really just say to people, man, just as long as you're doing your thing, you show up every day, results will happen.
Yeah, really great words to live by. And thanks again, Alexis, for coming on the show.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. It's awesome. Appreciate you.